Cool. And now we go over to Netflix and Friends, and I'm gonna take this one because I. I've been the only one who's been watching stuff at home that doesn't have to do with the Queen.
Yeah.
The and I'm gonna come up with the other one on BBC iPlayer. Now the other one is a comedy series, and as I say, I usually have trouble sort of like reviewing comedy series because without trying to sort of like do bad recreations of the best jokes. And this stars Ellie White and what's her name, Lauren Socha. I think it's either Socha or Socha. It's Socha, and they the show starts off and you have this lady she's called Kathy. She's called Kathy, and she's a bit uptight, and she's a bit kind of like, she's angry with her boyfriend, but you can see that she's all kind of like, oh, this must be done, that must be done. Works in the law office, and so she's kind of like, cross all the T's, dot all the I's kind of person, and it's her dad's birthday. They're going to have a surprise party for her dad. Everybody goes to the house, and then they sort of like, and her mom has organized this surprise party for her dad, and everybody's all like, shh, shh, keep quiet, keep quiet, keep quiet. And she speaks to one of his friends, and she's like, "Oh, Ben, do you know where he is?" And Ben's like, "Yeah, he told me he'll be here soon. He'll be here soon." And then her dad walks into the house and is like on the phone going, and his phone going, "Yes, yes, bye." Then he puts the phone down and is like, "Oh, darling, I'm sorry I'm late. I was just having a couple of drinks with Ben." The Ben who was actually in the room is, "I was just having a couple of drinks with Ben. It's just been such a," and everyone's looking around going, "But what do you mean Ben's here?" Then he opens up the door. Everybody goes, "Surprise!" And he goes, and immediately falls dead from a heart attack. And the next scene is his funeral, where his wife says something along the lines of, "It's like with me and Colin together, we were together for like 30 years, and he was my sweet music. But then I found out that he had the same sweet music with somebody else." And then you find that in the church, you have everybody is on one side. On the other side of the church of the pews are only two people, and it turns out that he had a 30-year affair with a woman, had a daughter with her who he called Kath as well. And these two daughters were born within about a week of each other. So this man had been keeping this thing going on, and it all becomes this whole. So the other one refers to this new family that they have, and this daughter that he has, and it's about how this mother and daughter, while trying to go through grieving, are dealing with the fact that their dad and husband has been lying to them for the last 30 years and had this whole other family squirreled away somewhere. And while that sounds like it could be the plot of EastEnders, or Eastern's plot or anything like that, they bring so much. They pull so much comedy out of it because this is hilarious. It is absolutely hilarious. I mean, they do the typical thing because obviously, if you're going to have one uptight sister who sort of like dots all the I's, crosses all the T's, the other one is a bit of a free spirit, and one of them, because she was the legitimate daughter, got all the best schooling, and the other one went to like a grammar school or something like that and is a bit chavvy. But the way it's played between Ellie White and Lauren Socha is so brilliantly done. This is a kind of show that totally rises and falls on the performances, and I think the performances are brilliant. They are nuanced. The sort of things they come up with are great. And even though you've seen this sort of like odd couple match before, where one's uptight and one's free spirited, I mean, think Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon, that kind of thing. It's sort of like you've seen it done before, but the way it's done here is just really, really, really great. And I think all the actors are brilliant. Rebecca Front, and the final episode, because there's two seasons of this, and I've finished season one. I've started season two, and the final episode of season one, I think, does a very clever thing, because they play with your expectations of the way this sort of story goes. They play with your expectations of who usually shows up in these sort of TV shows in the current British landscape. So I didn't watch it while it went out live, but I can see exactly what they would have done. And there's one character that shows up in the final episode, and you go, "Oh, I see what's going to happen here." Blah 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 blah. I mean, even my wife walked in. I had to show her the episode, and I walked in. She started watching, and she was like, "Oh, so that's gonna be that. That's gonna be that. That's gonna be that." And the way they play with your expectations of the final episode, I thought was really, really clever. So I really like the other one. I'm going to totally watch I've started watching the second season. And the first episode shows you that, when a show is kind of tentative at the beginning, then it hits a point where it hits its stride. and it knows exactly what it's doing, and it's confident, and the first episode of season 2 is these people know what they're doing now. This thing is, because the second episode of season 2 just flies. It flies. And it's one of those things where, you know, when you're watching a comedy show and then they add one thing and they add another thing and everything just builds up on top of each other until this sort of crescendo, and you're like, this is genius. So I really like it. I would give the other one, quiet alarm, I know my time's up. I would give the other one, season 1, a 4 out of 5, because I just thought I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was brilliant. And I would recommend it. So I would recommend it. I think definitely, Sharon, I think you'd like it. Sean, I don't know. You do surprise me sometimes.
I do, yeah. I do.
But I think it's really, really good. Right, and now